The New Deal, when it was set up by the Roosevelt administration, what it did was prolong the Great Depression for 6 years by introducing protectionist measures, by introducing more rigidity, by putting more spending and malinvestment into the economy. So much that in any case, the level of government spending and the size of government at the time was not even comparable to today. We cannot talk about a New Deal when government spending is already between 40 to 57% of the GDP of most of the leading economies. We cannot talk of a New Deal when the governments are already deficit spending trillions of dollars every year. Think about it. In the previous New Deal, government spending was actually very low, but also government was saving. Not defending the New Deal, but this has absolutely nothing to do with lack of government spending. This has all to do with excessive government spending, what we're seeing right now. Slower growth because of massive levels of debt because of a chain of stimulus programs country by country. So when we look at this idea of a New Deal, of these trillions of dollars needed for the green economy and all these fantastic numbers that we hear, think about one thing. If the real economy needed those trillions of dollars in investments, and those investments would be fantastic for growth and tremendous for to address the needs of consumers, of industries, why are they not being undertaken by the private sector? They would be. The private sector would be implementing, and by the way, it is. The private sector is implementing those investments today. What it is not doing is investing in white elephants. This is a big difference. And this is the important factor when addressing the risks of these massive ideas of what governments need to spend. Is that the government doesn't have better or more information about what the economy needs. More importantly, it has all the incentives to overspend, and more than all of those incentives to pass the burden to the next generation. So, technology, climate change action, all those green investments are already happening. They are not happening the way that interventionists would like them to, not because they are not happening and being productive, but because they are not inflating GDP the way that the governments would want them to. And if we look at what they would do if they implement these massive stimulus, we know what happens. We know that the Eurozone, we know that China gets into massive overcapacity and enters into a much weaker period of growth. Because when we talk about green economy, when we talk about everything that involves technology, innovation, etc., it goes precisely against what governments want, which is more control, which is more intervention, and which is inflating GDP. Technology, the green economy, innovation, disruptive technologies, all these things go precisely against what governments need in order to keep the inflation and growth targets the way that they want them. Not the way that we need them, the way that they want them. Hence, the things that we need to look at are much more evident. First, debt saturation is not going to be solved by more of what caused it. Second, more malinvestment is not going to improve productivity, and with that, salaries will not increase. Third, when you give a lot of money to someone that does not suffer any of the consequences of spending it wrongly, he or she or that government will spend it wrongly. Fourth, technology, green economy, innovation, all those things are already happening. So, Don't worry about innovation. Don't worry about the green economy. Don't worry about any need for a Green New Deal, because that is already happening in front of our eyes. Think of why any government that is not going to suffer any of the consequences of malinvestment is saying that the solution is a massive increase in debt and in expenditure from their side that will be paid by you and I. Thank you so much. See you next time. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, leave your comments below, and keep defending freedom. Thank you very much.